That's fucking delightful. Fucking delightful. Fucking good combination playing. Sliding balls into space. Good. Excellent. Get them on the fucking roll.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the ROKER RAPPORT Player Ratings Podcast. You join us after yet another Sunderland win. These are just getting better and better, these pods are. And I'm joined by a very happy looking Chris Wynn.
Another 3 points. Looking good, mate.
Yeah, grand. And on this great day, St Paddy's Day, I'm joined by ROKER RAPPORT's Irish correspondent, Mike Dunn. Mike, how are you doing?
I'm all good, Gav. Yeah, slightly hungover today. Just telling you off air. I had a rake of Guinness last night, but that win's put me in better form now, I have to say.
Yeah, and I have a few cans watching it, like. No, you're having a quiet
too many last night.
Yeah, it's, like Chris said off air, it's probably the quietest St Patrick's Day ever. Eh?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, yeah, Sunderland at least gave you something to do tonight, and we won again. We at Accrington. It was difficult at first. Yeah, I mean, the first hour or so of the game, I thought we were the better team, but I was starting to get a bit nippy there, sort of worrying we weren't going to score. And a great change at half time by Lee Johnson, bringing on Ross Stewart. Came very close just before his goal with a header that looped over the bar and then scored a great goal. It was Quinn-esque, wasn't it, Chris? It's like watching Big Quinny again.
He's massive, isn't he?
Oh, huge, freakishly big. He looked
so
he made Charlie White look quite small and diminutive.
There was a time when him and Charlie White were walking back next to each other, and Charlie White was like, leaning to look right up at him. I was like, bloody hell! But I mean, 30 seconds after he came on, straight away, won a header. Just beat Luke O'Nien, who was kind of trying to get on his shoulders or something to win the ball behind him. But looks like a unit. Defending as well. So I think he's going to be useful.
Yeah, and then the second goal, Mike, came from obviously Charlie White. I said on Twitter, I can't believe these League One defences just let him have free headers every week. It was another free header, wasn't it? And, I mean, great blocking again by O'Nien because it was a set piece, but it's just every week he's getting on the end of these crosses and scoring goals. I still can't get my head around it.
He's got 27 goals this season. Like, imagine if you said that at the start of the season that Charlie White will have 27 goals. It's just unbelievable, but it's brilliant. Like, I mean, again, he probably didn't play that well in the game itself. He started off all right, but if he keeps getting those headers, 1 or 2 a game, I'm not going to complain. And credit to Max Power for the cross as well. It was a brilliant corner in for that goal.
Yeah. I mean, all round though, for me, I thought it was a good display because we had to dig in and sort of, outbattle them in the end. I think obviously our quality showed in the end. I thought Winchester was fantastic. I mean, he was my big plus from tonight. I just thought he sort of picked up from where he left off in the last league game against Portsmouth. He was absolutely superb. Just did nothing wrong for me. Just passed the ball superbly. Very controlled and composed. I mean, what do you make of Winchester, Chris, tonight?
Yeah, you've just summed it up there. Looks neat and tidy, composed. I mean, the way I've kind of summed it up, written it down as I was watching the game, it was kind of a bit of a Ledbetter type performance for him, but he was kind of a bit more mobile than Ledbetter. He kind of sat, kept the ball for us, didn't give it away. I think he got tired in the second half. He looked a bit knackered towards the end of the game. But yeah, I thought he kept us ticking over when actually it was a game when I thought we didn't really put a foot on it like we should have, and Winchester was one of the few people who was trying to do that. The ball had too much time in the air, and I think that was more down to the pitch. But yeah, I mean, he was part of that, and I think you summed it up as well. It's one of those games where we were slightly off it, I think, in terms of our game, but bad pitch, tough place to go, cold night during the week. You just get in, get 3 points, and get back out again. Yeah,
and it's a massive 3 points, Mike, isn't it? I mean, we've went up to third in the table now. We're really putting pressure on that top two because I'm just looking at the form table now. We're top of the form table for the league. Second place are Burton. We're the only team to beat them, I think, in the recently. We look unstoppable at the minute. I mean, we're not even particularly dominating games and battering teams. We're just winning. Like being very efficient, taking the couple of chances we get, keeping clean sheets. I mean, it's just such a huge 3 points, isn't it?
Yeah, massive, and we're winning games in different ways. Some days we're playing really swashbuckling stuff. Games like tonight, where it's a shit pitch, kind of a agricultural kind of performance from Accrington. They're just hitting long balls, and we're dealing with that as well. And on top of all the injuries we've had as well, which is amazing that we're playing so well. But I mean, it's a massive few weeks ahead. I think we've Hull, Peterborough, Lincoln on Saturday, obviously, and teams are faltering around us, and we're just gaining that momentum, which is brilliant to see. And to be honest, I'm so confident that we're going to go up this season. I'm not even worried about the other teams. If we keep doing what we're doing, I can't see anyone stopping us. We have a great defence with someone like Sanderson, and then we have a striker like Charlie White who keeps scoring goals. I just think everything is just falling into place for us at the right time.
Yeah, and we're getting players back in as well, Chris, aren't we? You're seeing there tonight, Ross Stewart, after almost 2 months, finally making his debut. We've got Jordan Jones to come back. We've got Denver Hume to come back. Bailey Wright to come back.
I thought Lee Johnson played a bit of a blinder tonight, actually, after Wembley. I mean, for those few people out there who maybe read the preview, I actually had this down as, if it could have went either way. We could have kind of ridden the crest of a wave after Wembley, come into it kind of, a bit cocky and all this sort of stuff, gone to Accrington, and we could have easily kind of slipped up tonight and dropped at least a couple of points. And actually, Lee Johnson kind of shuffled his pack a little bit, took a few of those players out who may be a bit knackered after playing on the kind of a big pitch at Wembley, or that seems like a big pitch at Wembley, but it's draining, and maybe draining the celebrations as well afterwards. So I mean, I think he shuffled his pack well, and I think he's using the squad. And yeah, so it was a potential banana skin tonight, and we got 3 points.
Okay, let's jump into the 4-word review. I've added another word in for people tonight. Why not? Again, a ton of responses, so let's quickly flick through some. Joe Gorman says we are proper class. Gus says finally some good recruitment. I think he's obviously referring to Ross Stewart there. Made a good impression tonight. George Anderson says how are the fucking lads. Ryan Smith says back-to-back promotions. Leon Fryatt says we are fucking class. Lee Samuel says eyes on the prize, absolutely. Metty says Red and White Army. Connor Parkdykes says we can't stop winning. John Body says getting our club back, brilliant. Daly says gunning for the title. Matt says debut goal for Stewart. Davey Bartle says we are going up. Jason Beatty says Ross and Chaz connection. Joe says Ross Stewart lanky cunt. Cameron Johnson fucking loving life me. Evan Lloyd says Ross Stewart plays volleyball. Nick says January recruitment make an impact. Adam Hardy says the championship is calling. Glenn Jamin says Dion Sanderson the GOAT. And we'll end on Alan Strand, who says we can do this, with a lucky shamrock next to it, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, we everyone is, I think we're all believing now. I think the Portsmouth win last week sort of, in my mind anyways, solidified us as a real contender. We totally dominated that game. We've won the cup on Sunday fairly efficiently. Didn't particularly play well tonight. A tough opponent. Got another clean sheet. This is promotion form that we're seeing from Sunderland right now, and I wouldn't bet against us with the players we've got to come back. The form of our defence and our attackers, just brilliant. It's so refreshing as well, Chris, isn't it, to see the positivity from the fan base? Just everything is positive at the minute. There's nothing to complain about. But
you know what it is? It's just, you were just going on there, and we're just like a machine at the minute, and that's the good thing about it. I mean, we've seen. I mean, I saw kind of promotions under Peter Reid where it was kind of all this kind of fantastic football and 3-4-0 every week, and it's not one of them. It doesn't matter how we play. We're just plucking out results, and we're just if we need to grind them out, we're changing our game. We're grinding them out, and if we get like against Portsmouth, we started to play some nice stuff when we got ahead, and we're doing the right things at the right time. And it just seems like for the first time in a long time, we're being managed really well, and we've got somebody who's got us organised, and the players know what they're doing, and it's managing them to get results when things aren't going well. You can see things being changed, whether it's formation or players or whatever. And the right decisions seem to be being made at the right time and giving the players half a chance. Okay, we'll jump into player ratings. Mike, you can start off with Lee Burge. Quiet night for the keeper.
Yeah, I've very little written here from. I said there was a poor kick out earlier on. I think it fell to an Accrington player near our own box. But other than that, he had very little to do, which is great. I mean, it's not something to give out about. If your keeper's doing that much, it's great. So another solid performance. And he seems to get more and more confident with games. He seems composed, he's concentrating, he's kind of cut out those mistakes that maybe he was doing earlier on in the season. And all in all, another great night for Lee Burge. I've given him a 7.
Jake Forkins, Chris?
I thought interesting one, Forkins, because I thought he looked really nervous early on, and I don't know whether he was quite clever about it, because if you watched him early on, every time he got the ball, he played it really easy. He played it like 10-yard passes, and I think what he did was he kind of thought, right, I'm going to do everything right to start with, even if it's just a 10-yard pass where I've got like a more complicated pass on.
Feel his way in.
Yeah, he just felt his way into the game. And as he made more of these simple passes, he just got better and better and into the game. And then he started making runs forward past McGeady, playing a couple of 1-2s with McGeady. And and I thought he was quite clever about it and got himself into it. So he got a 7 for me in the end.
Nice. Pretty fair, I think. He's took a lot of stick from his early appearances. Matty said something on the podcast a few weeks ago, didn't he, about how he felt that Mcfadden would get a run in the team up until the final, and then we might see a bit more of Forkins, because it was pointless trying to keep him fit and then not being able to play him in that game. The shape suited him today. Some great running down the line. I actually think at 0-0 he saved us when we had a corner and they broke 1v1. He sprinted the length of the pitch to get across to the man, and if he hadn't been there, I think the player would have probably went round Burge and scored. So, and we've said this before, saves can be as important as goals. Certainly, that little bit of play there from Forkins was as good as a goal, because it was 0-0. So much better from him tonight. I'm glad to be able to say that, because I want him to do well. Mike, you can take Luke O'Nien then. Not as good, really. I don't want to criticise him too much. I wouldn't say he had a poor game, but wouldn't say he played particularly badly. Maybe the worst of the three.
Yeah, I think it was solid. He actually gave away a few silly fouls at times, I thought. He kind of got caught out a couple of times. But again, Accrington were playing a lot of long balls, and I think early on he won a good few headers. He probably should have scored a header of his own at the other end at the end of the first half.
Absolutely,
it was a free header. He really had to get that on target.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a horrible miss.
It was a sitter, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bad miss. But I think he set the standard so high for himself over the last few weeks with his performances. It's no real surprise that there was going to be a little bit of drop. I wouldn't say it was a bad performance, probably just not as good as it was. And I've given him a 6 for tonight.
That's what I've given him too. Dion Sanderson, Chris?
I mean, what can I say about Sanderson that hasn't already been said? The fella he just oozes class. I just love everything about him. He just looks so. I mean, on that, how good did he look on the ball? Even in the mud patch when he was in the middle of the pitch, he still looked comfortable on the ball. Like he was sending Accrington Stanley players the wrong way when he wasn't even touching the ball.
Yeah. There
was one instance nearly on the goal line, just to the kind of right hand side of our goal in the 6-yard box, where I think he kind of played a little back heel in his own 6-yard box and got us out of trouble. I just think he's a class above this division, and if he stays fit this season, he could play a massive part in us if we end up in that top 2. I've got him as an 8. I thought he held the rest of them together at the back tonight. I thought he's brilliant.
Yeah, couldn't disagree there. Conor McLaughlin, Mike, I thought he played well.
I kind of forgot he was playing, but not even in a bad way, because there was nothing seemed to be going down his wing. Solid, really solid. And I think that's the way McLaughlin is. He is, I said before, he's a steady Eddie. He never really makes mistakes, but never does anything spectacular. You can't really complain. He won a few challenges. He got forward with the ball well. Did he have a shot at the end of the first half, I think, which started off the save from Forkins? I think it was him. I'm not 100%, but yeah, it didn't really put a foot wrong. I have him down as a 6. Solid again.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit harsh, maybe a 7. Kind of swaying between the two.
Yeah, I give him a 7. I thought he was very good. Just did everything simple. He's a far better player under this manager than he was under the last one.
Yeah, he's getting a run of games though, isn't he? When he gets back, he was probably in and out before under Parkinson.
Yeah,
I think he's got more game time under Johnson.
One thing he did do, which I enjoyed, he played that little flick which Diamond was. You sort of seen Diamond starting a run, and he flicked it round the corner to Diamond, and Diamond ran onto it and carried it into the box. Now, I think he had a shot which the keeper saved, and that was all through. Really, obviously Diamond's run, but McLaughlin's little flick as well. He has got some quality when he wants to show it. I think he prefers to just play it nice and steady, which isn't a bad thing when we're keeping clean sheets. Gooch, Chris, he's yours.
Yeah, a bit of bit of a mixed bag. I thought at times he looked much better than he did at the weekend, because I know he took all the kind of plaudits to the weekend for scoring, but actually at Wembley I thought Gooch was generally awful, and tonight at times he looked much better. He kind of faded in and out. When he popped up with the ball, he actually did okay with it. He took the players on a couple of times to the byline, got a couple of decent crosses in. Had a decent shot in the first half that just went over the bar. I thought when he first hit it, it was going right in the top corner. So a bit of a mixed bag, but I think on the whole, he was one of our more dangerous players. And I thought if something was going to happen, it might have come from Gooch. So I had him as a 7. I thought he was all right tonight.
Yeah, got the assist for the first goal as well. Let's not forget.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, decent enough. Decent. I think he was probably better in the first half. What I liked about him was he was taking shots on. He put that cracking cross in for the header 09 missed as well.
Yeah.
I think right wing back's probably his best position, if I'm honest. Jimmy wasn't as high on him on the site. He gave him a 6. Said he thought he played inconsistent. I would probably agree with that. I think probably second half he wasn't as good as he was in the first half, even though he got an assist. But yeah, I think your score's probably fair there. Max Power then, Mike. He was. Do you know what I'll say before you give us this one? I didn't actually have anything written down for Power other than when he got the assist. He got the assist for the second goal. I think it's all about all he did. He was sort of quiet tonight.
Do you know what, Gavin? I'm same as you. First half, I had a blank page for Max Power. I didn't know what to write, and then I was trying to think of words just to put in to have something to say about him. But I have to say, I thought second half he was really good. I think he was quiet first half, but I think he was popping up all over the pitch in the second half. He was linking play. He was getting challenges in. He was really vocal, which I think is a really important attribute that he has. I think he had a really good second half, a kind of captain's role. He drove us on, and he got the cross. He put the cross in for White's goal as well. I was actually really impressed with him, second half especially, but I have him down as a 7.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I say, the cross was superb.
Yeah, I think half the problem was Winchester isn't kind of all over the pitch like Scarwin, so they're both kind of sat in next to each other, and Winchester had more of the ball, and Power just kind of he ended up putting a few tackles in, but didn't get the ball as much as Winchester, so kind of got lost.
And you said Winchester tired second half. I think Power came more prominent then as well, didn't he?
Yeah, and it helped when Scowen came on as well, because he sort of filled in with
more energy.
Like Chris says, that sort of job nobody was really taking on. He filled in, but decent enough game from Max Power. I think generally speaking, he's been one of our better players in the last month or so. In that he seems to just be swapping between right back and centre mid seamlessly, And I was a big critic of his earlier in the season. You can't say he's not putting important performances in. I mean, like I say, even though I didn't have a lot written down for him, he still got an assist. He took a corner. He never takes corners, but McGeady was off the park, so he went over and took the corner, and it was a great corner. So we can't complain. Carl Winchester then. I think this is Mike, isn't it? Or is it Chris?
It's Chris, I think, yeah.
Chris, yeah, you go on. You can have Winchester since we all agreed he had a good game.
Yeah, well, talked about him a bit earlier. So neat and tidy. Kept things ticking over. Maybe could have, like I said, I don't think in general the team put a foot on the ball enough. Like I said, maybe that was down to the pitch. But yeah, he kind of filled that Ledbetter role quite nicely. So I had him as an 8 at one point. I thought, he's really flying here, and he's really putting in one of the shifts of the night for the team. And then kind of the longer the game went on, he seemed to just fade from the game. I think he got tired. He hasn't played all that much football recently. So he ended up with a 7 for me. Good performance, but kind of faded as the game went on.
I think I just play a special focus on Winchester because I thought he played that well. So everything he did, I enjoyed. So I give him a 9. Yeah. I'm absolutely raving about him tonight. I can see what you mean. He did fade as the game went on, but even it was I don't know whether because we're in League One, we just aren't used to seeing players, centre midfield players in particular, with time on the ball. And Winchester, he doesn't actually. He did play a few good first time passes today, which I would say were decent standard. But it's the simple stuff he does. It's the first time 5-yard passes. It's the little Cruyff turns to release the ball to a fullback. It's it's the simple things he does. I think he's got quality that you don't often see from players at this level, and it's the time on the ball thing for me with Winchester in particular. He seems to just have all the time in the world when he's got it. I mean, I've seen a couple of people now compare him to Jan Kirchhoff, Obviously, there's levels. There's
steady
levels,
on.
and Kirchhoff was a very good player in the Premier League. But I can see the comparison. I mean, similar types of midfield players in the way that they play. You know, he doesn't really sprint around the pitch like an idiot. He gets the ball in pockets of space and has lots of time. I can certainly see why people are maybe comparing them, even though there's obviously levels to this game. But yeah, Winchester just impressed again, and I'm glad that he's finally turned up. I mean, I said on Twitter that maybe as fans we're all guilty of this, where your team signs a player, and if they aren't hitting the ground running within 3 weeks, you sort of turn off from them a little bit, and you aren't sure what you're not really sure, you know, well, why have we signed this guy, especially when he's come from a League Two side. But I think the time he's had to bed in has been useful, and Johnson deserves credit for not throwing him in at the deep end either. You know, he's been here nearly 2 months, and we're finally starting to see he looks comfortable. He looks in the groove. You know, he doesn't look out of place at all, actually. And again, we've just said this earlier about players coming to the fore later in the season from injury and stuff. Winchester's going to be one of the like a new signing, because we haven't really seen much of him in those first 2 months. He's coming to the team now seamlessly, really, and it takes the pressure off Ledbetter, who's clearly injured. You know. So yeah, I'm very happy with Winchester tonight. Jack Diamond, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I was really hopeful that Diamond would come into the team and make an impact after a good cameo on Sunday. But to be honest, he was completely off the pace tonight. I think he had one decent chance around the 25th minute on his left foot. He the keeper made a save. But I think it was one of his only contributions in the first half. And I think there was a 3 or 4 minute spell there where he made 3 or 4 really bad decisions. Lost the ball, didn't give it into the box. He took the wrong choices, and I wasn't surprised to see him taken off at half time, to be honest. And it was quite disappointing, because I'm always wanting Jack Diamond to kick on and maybe have a regular spot in the team. But with the form of Jones and McGeady, he's been kind of could have drifted into the bench more so at the moment. So yeah, I have Jack Diamond as a 5 for tonight. I thought it was really disappointing, and as I said, I wasn't surprised to see him taken off at half time.
No, I think you're probably right there. One criticism people have of Diamond is the lack of an end product. And I do like him. I really do like him. And I think he's going to get better and better. And starting games in League One will improve him. You know, he shouldn't get disheartened by coming off at half time. I think the end result shows that it was the right decision to make that choice. Definitely. From the manager. It's good management, really, to sort of sense that a young player sort of dipping in and out of the game and might be worth bringing him off and making a change. Diamond will be fine. I don't think he should worry too much about what happened tonight. I mean, he's going to have off days. And I think he was unlucky not to score in the first half as well. To give him a little bit of praise. One thing I do like about him is he isn't scared to run at players and commit them. And, it would be nice to see him win a few more free kicks, maybe, from those situations. And be a bit more clever with his passing. But ultimately, just wasn't his night tonight. Mm-hmm. All right, Chris, it's your turn for Charlie Wyke. Charles had a bit of a funny game, didn't he? He got nothing off the referee, but glad to see him get another goal.
Yeah, Charlie Wyke, a bit of another mixed bag, really. I thought first off, I just thought the ball just didn't stick to him enough. I felt a bit sorry for him at the same time as well, because I don't think he was given much of a chance by some of the balls that were played up to him. I thought we played it too long. He looked isolated. At times there wasn't a Sunderland player within 20 yards of him when the ball was played up to him, and he was kind of fighting to lose a battle up front. So I felt a bit sorry for him, but I don't think there was the kind of the closing down that he's had in the last few games. I don't know whether he maybe looks a bit tired. Against Portsmouth, he was really kind of battling for the ball and he wouldn't give anything up, and you really saw kind of he was kind of in that zone where he just wouldn't stop running. And tonight he just looked a little bit leggy again, but he got the goal. So I've got him down as a 7 because he grabbed another one, and you can't really knock a striker if he keeps scoring.
No. Yeah, I give him an 8, but I think a little bit of that was tinged with the fact that I just felt he did a lot of good things that would have normally led to sort of free kicks and fouls and things, and the ref just gave him nothing. I mean, every time he got fouled, the ref either ignored it or gave a free kick the other way. But you're right, he fed off scraps in the main. Really, it was difficult for him. But he's shown this season he's a bit of a poacher, and he's getting goals out of nothing. I mean, he's perfecting that late run into the box to get on the end of set pieces. Another goal. I think Mike said 27 for the season. You would tip him to go beyond 30 at this rate because he's, it's becoming ridiculous. Teams just don't know how to deal with him when he's in that 6-yard box.
Yeah.
So fair play. Like I say, Charlie White did his job, which was put the ball in the back of the net. Really took the pressure off, to be fair, that goal, because Accrington would have definitely come at us a bit more, and it allowed Johnson to make a couple of subs, didn't it? And sort of slow the game down and just sort of played into our hands. So, and that's his job in the team. That's his job to score the goals. So yeah. And last but not least is Aidan McGeady, Mike.
Yeah, I thought he was quite quiet tonight. I think we struggled to get him into the game. He was quite anonymous in the first half. He put the good cross in for the own goal that the Charles nearly put into his own net.
Yeah.
In the first half, but he did improve a little bit in the second half. I thought before he did that silly kicking the ball away and getting the yellow card. I think that was more just his frustration with himself nearly of how he was playing than anything else, to be honest. He just, nothing was going right for him today. I was doing an article last week for the Irish Post about how his crosses improved immeasurably, and he's not hitting the first man anymore, and then today he hits the first man about 4 or 5 times. So that's the commentator's curse there. But no, I think it was an off night for McGeady, and I think actually it was the right decision to take him off at that time, because I think he just was having one of those nights as well, kind of similar to Jack Diamond. So I have McGeady down as a 6, just slightly better than maybe Diamond was.
I wondered, Michael, how long it would take for you to bring the Irish Post up.
I had to get that one in. Yeah, I thought McGeady tonight was he wasn't his best, was he? I marked him down slightly for that stupid yellow card, and then he came off 10 minutes after that. But what I think first half though, he was still our most likely source of a goal in that first half. Every time, what I love about McGeady, especially at this level, is he goes 1v1 with a fullback, and he makes them look silly every time. He takes them on, and they don't know what to do with them. But yeah, final ball wasn't as good. Into the subs then. I'll do the subs since I haven't done any ratings tonight. Ross Stewart, I've given an 8 to. Just a perfect debut for me. Came on, did his job, totally changed up the game in our favour. Just gave them problems because of the sheer size of him, and took his goal really well. It was a proper, like I said at the top of the show, it was a proper Quinny style looping header over the goalkeeper.
Keeper was shocking.
That was the keeper right there, though.
Yeah, but I haven't seen headers like that since probably Quinny was here. Maybe it's the height thing that I'm comparing them on, but yeah, it was a good goal ultimately. I mean, like you say, the keeper probably should have done better, but still, got the header on target and came close not long before that. But I thought his overall work rate was great. That's the one thing we were told by Ross County fans, was that he just gives everything. Runs all over the place, holds the ball up well. Does his bit for the team, and that's really ultimately what he needed to come on and do, was to shore us up at the top end of the pitch. So yeah, I've give Ross Stewart an 8, maybe a bit kind. I don't know. I think he just considering his impact on the game, he deserves a high mark. Josh Scarwin, I gave a 7 to. I was actually really impressed with Josh Scarwin, Mike. I don't know about you, but he for me, when he came on, just added something a bit different. Late in the game, we were under a bit of pressure from a corner, and he ran the length of the pitch and won us a corner with the ball. Nice to see him come on, wasn't it, and do something. Yeah,
he brought energy into the team, maybe that was lacking, I suppose, with the other lads on the pitch at that stage. And as you said, the lads are probably getting a little bit tired, especially after Sunday as well. And that's what Scowen's good at. He does have that energy, and he got us forward up the pitch at times when we needed it. Yeah, absolutely. I was impressed enough with him tonight now.
Yeah, he did well.
And I haven't given any marks to the other 3 subs. They weren't on long enough really to do anything. Ledbetter came on and passed it around a little bit. I mean, he didn't really do much. Mcguire and Mcfadden came on.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, Mcguire and Mcfadden came on sort of last 3-4 minutes of normal time after the goal. And yeah, I mean, we'd won the game by that point, so it was difficult for them to really impact upon it. Man the match I've given to... I haven't actually wrote anything down. Winchester. I'm going to give it to Winchester. Yeah. After what I said earlier, I think he was my favourite player in the game tonight. Did everything right. Closely followed probably by Ross Stewart, just for the impact he had on the game. What about you, Chris?
I've got Dion Sanderson. I thought. I mean, if you think in that first half, I mean, they didn't kind of threaten us a lot, but I mean, you could argue they had the best couple of chances in the second half, and I just thought Sanderson kind of held us together when we had a bit of a wobble, and yeah, I've got Sanderson.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, Sanderson again, calmness personified. As Chris was talking about there, he's just so good on the ball. He brings the ball into midfield. He won all his individual battles, and I mean, Accrington have a striker who scores, I think, 16 league goals this season. You wouldn't have thought that tonight, based on
No.
his performance tonight, Charles. But he's outstanding at this level. Like, he doesn't make any mistakes, and he's just such an asset for us this season. Now, I have to say, yeah, man of the
Yeah.
match again.
Fair play, fair play. I can't disagree, really. I think it was only me who really thought Winchester was the best player on the park.
I just think you love Winchester, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I just creamed myself over him the night. Outstanding. Let's rate the manager then. Lee Johnson, I've given him a 10. I just thought his game management was brilliant tonight. You can't do anything wrong. I mean, the team selection was bold. He made 5 changes. We were clearly lacking on Sunday a bit of energy, and that was the reason he made so many changes. And to be fair, although the first half was scrappy, yeah, we played at a high tempo, so it obviously had an impact. Then at half time, he made a big, bold decision in bringing on Stewart for his debut, who changed the game for us. And then his game management towards the end and bringing a couple of subs on that he wouldn't normally make. He wouldn't normally take Wyke off. Bringing on a left back for a left back. He doesn't normally do that like for like thing, does he, with defenders? But yeah, just great tonight. So I've given him a 10. Another clean sheet, another 3 points. He's got us roaring. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I said earlier I thought he managed us through it, but just one. I mean, I give him a 9 just purely because I thought, I know we needed. I think in the first half we maybe needed a little bit of luck to get through it, just because they had the best 2 chances of the half. We only had the 0-9 header really as a clear cut chance. They had that 1-on-1. And they had a header similar to what 0-9 had, kind of close range, should have scored. Yeah. And without that bit of luck, I mean, it could have been a completely different game. And I just think we weren't on it from the start. He reacted to that brilliantly. But I thought we kind of maybe got away with it a little bit in the first half, even though we were the better team.
Okay, fair play. So I'm just looking ahead now. We've got Lincoln on Saturday, who are right up there with us, but aren't in great form. That's just a massive game coming up. And the lads will be back to preview that, obviously. But looking around League One as well, I mean, I'll ask you this, Mike. Are we really worrying about the teams below us now? Is it sort of a case of, I know we shouldn't concentrate too much on other teams, but I'm sort of looking at the fixtures coming up at the weekend, and I'm only really bothered about Peterborough and Hull. I know obviously we're playing Lincoln, and Lincoln can go back above us if they beat us. But yeah, we're sort of at that stage now, aren't we, where we're just breathing down their necks, and we need to keep the pressure up and hope they drop some points.
I'm the same as you. I think it's a 3-horse race now between us, Hull and Peterborough. I mean, as I said earlier on, I'm just not worried about anyone else at the moment. I just think we're playing so well. I think whoever we come up against, I think we have the beating of them every week at the moment, just the way we're playing. But I mean, it's going to be a defining couple of weeks now. I think we've obviously Lincoln Saturday, and then is it Peterborough on the 4th of April, which is only a couple of weeks away as well.
Yeah, and Oxford, who are one of the form teams as well. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I do back us in every game we go up against, but I just think over the next few weeks you really are going to see if we're title challengers or we're just playoff challengers. But certainly the way we're playing, I back us to go the whole way. Yeah, I'm saying it now.
And with the weekend, Gav, I mean, if you put it this way, yeah, there might be kind of 4th and right below us in the league, but we're at home against the side that's won 1 in the last 5.
Yeah.
So if you put it like that, I mean, on the form we're in at home, you fancy our chances.
And we've a good record against Lincoln as well anyway. I think we've beaten them the last 3 times we've played them. And we beat them well as well, so no fear, absolutely no fear.
Nah, we can't. Not the way we're playing. Like I said, we're fairly relentless at the minute. I think Chris said we're a bit of a machine, and that's spot on. We don't look like anybody's going to stop us. And I don't want to be made to eat me words, but I think sometimes as Sunderland fans we're reluctant to get carried away. I think now we should be, if we feel like we should get carried away, then do it, because
doesn't happen often.
That confidence, it's projecting on the players at the minute, and it's projecting back off them to us. They're confident, we're confident. Why not sing from the rooftops that we're going to get promoted? I mean, we'll keep picking up results like this. I mean, Accrington are no mugs. I know they haven't been in great form. They have dropped down the table rather dramatically. But at one stage, they were really challenging up there, and they've picked up some big results this season. And I don't actually think tonight they played that badly. Had they taken some of their chances, then it could have been a different game. But we're relentless at the minute. We're picking up wins and clean sheets like they're nothing. mean, four league wins on the bounce now. I fancy us against anybody at the minute, and I just wish we were playing Peterborough or Hull at the weekend and not a team below us. That's how confident I am in their ability at the minute. We're not battering teams, but teams are really struggling against us. That's the main thing. So yeah, I'm more than confident we'll get promoted playing this way. And I don't, like I say, I might be made to eat me words, but as a Sunderland fan, we don't often get to feel like this. And I'm sticking my neck on the line saying we're going to frigging do it. Why not? Why not? I mean, if we're not confident now, exactly. If we're not confident in the players, then they're not going to be confident in themselves. They need the fans to start shouting for themselves a bit more. You know, people should not be afraid to put themselves out there and say we're going to do it, because this is how it felt under Roy Keane when we went on that run towards the title. It's the exact same feeling I've got now. And if we're not going to go up this season, then we'll never bloody will, because this is the best squad we've had, and we're in a great position. And we've got good players coming back. We've got momentum, and just everything's working in our favour right now. So we're getting promoted. I said it in the last couple of podcasts. And if anybody wants to play this clip backwards when we don't get promoted, then feel free. I'll eat me words.
Well, Gav, I've said it before, but you said we'd win the Papa John's in August. So I did. I'll take that.
Yeah, and I haven't tired of reminding people that I said that. I said in August there'll be no fans there and we'll finally win at Wembley, and we did it. I mean, I don't get much right, like I wouldn't start taking tips off us or anything. But yeah.
Any best for Cheltenham tomorrow now?
Thanks everyone for joining us. We'll be back with the ratings at the weekend, and let's just hope this run keeps going. Thanks.